got the Reds taking on the Nationals in the NLCS. And in the American League, in the ALCS, I'm gonna have the Tigers in because I think that the Tigers will pull one out. Non-game three, I don't think that the Tigers will win in game three, but I think in game four, I think that's going to be the game where Max Scherzer, who led the league with 231 strikeouts, gets the job done and just clinches the series for the Tigers. And they'll be taking on the Yankees. If the Yankees win or lose tonight, I think that being at home is going to really benefit them, and I give them the win. So it's going to be Nationals, Reds, and Tigers, Yankees in the LCSs this postseason. And right now, we are going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more on baseball, and then I'm going to give you guys some NFL scores from yesterday, and I'm going to bring on my special guest, Nick Rice, at 2:30. So I want to talk to you guys about the NFL scores, some key some key things I saw from Thursdays and yesterday's action around the National Football League, and I'll talk to you guys about what's going to happen tonight as the Texans take on the Jets. When we come back to CN Sports Hour here on Spreaker.com, a part of the National Sports Radio Network.
È strano se sfiorandomi riemergerai dal buio. Riposa un po', mia cara Belle, il tuo regno sai non brilla più.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CN Sports Hour here on the National Sports Network in affiliation with Spreaker.com. And if you guys want to call in or text pretty much any questions on any sports, any team, what happened in football just yesterday, and any baseball related topics about the Orioles really melting down in the top of the ninth inning, losing to the Yankees. Anything on that, please. The number is on the chat box, and it's also 650-315-6543. It's on the chat box, so you guys can call in, and you guys can also do shout outs. If you want to text me any shout outs, I can deliver that to the show. So, let's go back to what we're going to try to accomplish here with some MLB postseason. So, I told you guys my predictions for the Giants Cincinnati Reds series. I got the Reds in that series. The Nationals and Cardinals currently in play right now is still 1-0 in the middle of the second inning. So Jaime Garcia got out of the jam there And I was right. Bryce Harper did get struck out. That's the fourth time Bryce Harper's been struck out in the series, and it's only been a game and a half. So, concern for the Nationals. So, it'll be Reds Nationals in the NLCS. These are my predictions. And then the Tigers and the Yankees in the American League Championship Series. And then my prediction is going forward from the League Championship Series. Um, I'm gonna go with the Nationals in the NLCS. I think that they're gonna get the job done. Um, I've seen what they're doing right now, and I've seen what the Reds are doing right now, and I think the Nationals have an advantage because right now Joey Votto is not at his performance. He can hit better, but he's not really hitting better. The team's really being led by guys like Brandon Phillips or Jay Bruce, and I think that Joey Votto is the missing piece, and unfortunately hasn't really contributed a lot to the Reds this in the first two games of the series. As for the Nationals, they have more overall players and more guys that really contribute. Ryan Zimmerman, Jason Worth, Alan LaRoche, Mike Morse, Ian Desmond, just those guys in particular really lead this ball club um, offensively, and then the pitching for the Nationals and the Reds are kind of similar in a way. And I have to give this a push. I can't really give one side the edge to the other. Pretty much the Nationals and the Reds, they both have great pitchers. For the Reds, they have Johnny Cueto, Matt Latos, um, other names Homer Bailey, and then for the Nationals, you have Gio Gonzalez, a 20-game winner, Jordan Zimmerman, and Edwin Jackson. So just name those guys. And then the bullpens for both these teams are pretty good. I give the Reds the advantage for the bullpen because of they're pretty much their main men. They have in the seventh inning they put in Sean Marshall. In the eighth, they put in Jonathan Broxton, which they got during the trade deadline from Kansas City. And then the closing spot pretty much straight up goes to the Cuban missile Arolis Chapman, the 100-mile-per-hour flamethrower from Cuba. So, but I'm giving the edge to the Nationals. I don't think the Reds can pull it off. The Reds haven't been to World Series in a very, very long time. So, and the Nationals, same thing too. But we'll have to see. But I'm giving my vote to pardon me, the Nationals. And then the Tigers taking on the Yankees in the LCS. I'm going with the Tigers. The Tigers, they are looking great. They are looking great against the A's. They're pitching Justin Verlander, and in Game Three, or actually, pardon me, it's going to be Game Four if necessary. It's going to be Max Scherzer, and if the Tigers beat the A's in Game Three, that'll be an advantage for the Tigers because Game One they can go straight to Max Scherzer and possibly take Game One like that, like a snap. So, and I think Max Scherzer has pretty good history against the Yankees. So, expect something big. Expect something big from Max Scherzer in Game Four. Hopefully not for the Tigers. They're thinking hopefully Game One. So it'll be the Tigers and the Nationals in the World Series, in my opinion. And I'm going with the Tigers winning the World Series, the first one since 1984. A lot of big stuff coming out of this for the Tigers. The Nationals, they don't have a lot of playoff experience. I think they get. I think that the experience. Um, I think that the experience. Even though they lack experience, they're good enough to make to the World Series. But the experience is gonna bite them in the butt. And the Tigers, who have so much more experience, looking at the lineup for the Nationals, I think that Jason Worth is the only player with playoff experience in the Nationals lineup alone. Bryce Harper, he's a rookie. Ryan Zimmerman, he's been on the Nationals. They've always been bad. Alan LaRoche he's been a traveling man for particularly bad teams. Mike Morse, he's a young man who's gone through the national system, no playoff experience. Ian Desmond, he is a very young man. and has not gone through to any playoffs. So Danny Espinosa, no. Kurt Suzuki, surprisingly, is a no because he was not on the A's when they last made it to the playoffs in 2006. So, um, or I might be wrong, but please you can leave me any messages on the chat box if you want. So, Tigers taking the World Series, in my opinion. And that's pretty much the end of the discussion for baseball. And let's go straight into football. And first game I want to talk to you guys about was the big game in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium as the Packers lose surprisingly to the Colts in in the big one. So it's undescribable. It's the Colts have a coach currently in the hospital with leukemia. He's possibly going to be out for the rest of the season. And this was pretty much what they did for Chuck Pagano in yesterday's game. That's pretty much it, guys. Sorry for the little quiet gap there. I was trying to get it started and I forgot to put it on mute. But pretty much nice and simple there. They get the job done, and then Mason Crosby shanks a 51-yarder and gets the job done for the gets the not it doesn't really get the job done for the Packers, but I guess the AC was on at Lucas Oil Stadium, which is a dome, and the Colts get the upset. Andrew Luck, like the guy said there, 363 passing yards, including three total touchdowns, and Reggie Wayne, 13 catches for 212 yards and two touchdowns. So Colts, they did this one for Chuck Pagano, and really did something big there. And quickly, just going through the scores before I get my special guest on, who is Nick Rice. On Thursday, it was a surprising victory for the Rams as they beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals losing their first game of the season, going down to 4-1. The Rams 3-2. Rams were perfect at home this year, 3-0. So 17-3 lead and the victory as the Rams upset the Cardinals at Edward Jones Stadium. And let's go to yesterday. Bills and the Niners. It was a blowout. 45-3 was the score there. And Niners poured on 21 in the fourth quarter and 14 the second to literally rip the Bills defense. They gained a franchise record 621 yards. That includes 303 passing yards from Alex Smith, 106 rushing yards from Frank Gore, and 113 receiving yards from Michael Crabtree. So overall, an offensive just blowout from the Niners in that one. Bengals hosting the Dolphins. A surprise victory for the Dolphins. Their first road victory of the season. They improved to 2-3 after their 17-13 win. Ryan Tannehill leads the way, 17-26 for 223 yards for the Dolphins. For Andy Dalton and the Bengals, he goes 26-43 for 234 yards and a touchdown, plus two interceptions. And it's then the Packers I told you about, a 30-27 loss at Indianapolis. And let's go to another game, the Ravens and the Chiefs, and a 9-6 victory for the Ravens. And Rice and Tucker really do the job. Rice with triple-digit rushing yards, and Justin Tucker, the kicker for the Ravens, hitting all three of his field goals to win the game 9-6 in Kansas City. And then we'll be talking about this very soon. with Nick Rice. Nick Rice